how Japan builds so fast. The Japanese economy is both an impressive and perplexing achievement to the rest of the world. After World War II, no one had thought that Japan would soon rise as a tech and economic giant with such a fast pace. Today, Japan ranks first in the world for production of electrical appliances and electronics, vehicles, ships, machinery manufacturing, optical and precision devices, machinery and chemicals. So how has Japan been able to build so fast? Well, that's what we're going to discuss in today's video. So as always, welcome back to the channel Let's Get Techy. I'm your host Luke, and in today's video we're going to talk about Japan's unprecedented advancement and how it has helped Japan to build so quickly. So watch the video all the way to the end, and if you're new to the channel, remember, hit that subscribe button and remember to give this video a like. Japan was one of the first Asian countries to ascend the value chain from cheap textiles to advanced manufacturing and services, which today account for the majority of Japan's GDP and jobs. What actually made Japan become the world's second largest economy after the USA is because of many factors, and we're going to talk through them one by one. First of all, Japan takes competitiveness very seriously. One of these habits is to thoroughly consider a proposed policy that will impact on Japan's industry productivity, Japan's competitiveness in their global market, and Japan's balance of payments and trade. For Japanese policymakers in ministries, the Diet, and businesses, as well as analysts and critics in popular newspapers and university economic departments, this has become almost second nature. For example, the Japanese are far too aware of their reliance on imports for energy, raw materials, and food to dismiss the rest of the world or to push it completely out of their field of vision. These broad considerations do not always win, but every interested party takes them very seriously. Secondly, Japan have an impressive automobile manufacturing industry. Since around 1960, MITI has consistently opposed Japanese automobile industry expansion because, in large part, it sees the private automobile as a form of self-indulgence and the opening wedge of a consumer society that it despises. Furthermore, it has remained skeptical in recent years about the ability of untested Japanese manufacturers to compete with the likes of GM, Ford, Fiat, and Volkswagen. It has also been concerned that a large automobile market in Japan would spark irresistible pressure to open Japan to foreign imports, which it is determined to avoid. The other factor that has helped Japan to build so fast is that Japan capitalizes on global trends to achieve faster growth. What's different about today's environment that might allow for a fundamental shift in Japan's course? The answer is straightforward: everything. Despite the fact that global trade is booming, Japan's share of global exports has dropped from 7% in 2000 to 4% in 2013. However, Japan possesses the manufacturing, export, and innovation capabilities to compensate for lost time and market shares. Growing economies will be able to export markets for Japan's traditionally strong industries of vehicles, machinery, and electronics in the coming years. Much of the developed world is aging, and it will be watched with bated breath to see if Japan, the country at the forefront of this trend, can pioneer policy responses. To alleviate labour shortages, the private sector will also need to develop new business practices and technologies, all of which will have a positive impact on productivity. Japan may be well positioned to export innovative products and services aimed at seniors, a lucrative consumer segment. So when the world has experienced a historic surge in urbanization, which is focusing attention on infrastructure, Japan is on the way to improve its own infrastructure projects' use of capital whilst also helping the rest of the world with project financing and engineering. Several transformative technologies, ranging from artificial intelligence and 3D printing to the Internet of Things, are already on the horizon. Some of these breakthroughs are already being implemented and even invented in Japan. The challenge now is to accelerate adoption across entire industries so that technology improves productivity performance. Japan has one of the world's most rapidly aging, urbanized, globally connected, and technologically advanced societies. It is at the forefront of a global wave of distribution. These trends create both pressure and opportunities to act. Japan has the ability to turn the current wave of global distribution into an opportunity, and if you get a chance to visit Japan, you will see that they are far more on another level of innovation. Moreover, one thing that has helped Japan's growth is Japan's outstanding innovations. Advanced manufacturing, automotive, industrial machinery, and electronics is at the forefront of Japan's industrial capabilities and the source of its signature exports. Japan's advanced manufacturers once set the standard for the rest of the world in terms of efficiency and quality. Many of Japan's most prominent automakers have shifted much of their production outside of Japan to serve their domestic markets. the consumer electronics industry has fared poorly. Lean players like Samsung, LG, Xiaomi, Huawei, and Lenovo have taken market share of products like TVs, PCs, and smartphones, often at the expense of Japanese companies. Over the last decade, the major Japanese conglomerates have fought for profitability. In some cases, they made bad bets on technologies that did not succeed in the market. Many subscale companies and plants in Japan's consumer electronics industry focus on products with declining margins. Another factor that has helped Japan build faster is that of Japan's financial services. With $11 trillion in assets, Japan's financial sector is one of the most robust systems in the world. The wealth that has been accumulated by Japan in the recent years is unprecedented in scale. It has the ability to influence market behavior in any part of the world. Japan is home to a financially secure and well-regulated sector, which is responsible for 4% of the country's nominal gross domestic product. Japan's economy is the third largest in the world. Tokyo, the largest city in the world measured by GDP, which has recently announced its intentions to become a worldwide financial center, is the epicenter of financial and economic activity in Japan. Tokyo is also the largest city in the world measured by population. Japan's banks have fewer branches and less staff, but they still provide better service to their customers. Low returns on assets, risk aversion, simpler product offerings, and intense competition have all contributed to the widening of this gap in terms of pricing. Japanese banks are already the world's largest international lenders, but a greater emphasis on foreign lending and foreign expansion, particularly into the most promising emerging Asian markets, could open up new opportunities. Insurers have increased their overseas operations in response to declining domestic revenues. Bankers and insurers alike can conduct an end-to-end process review and prioritize areas that have received little IT investment and digital process transformation. In order to provide a truly integrated online and offline experience, financial institutions will need to continue their efforts to slim down or reimagining their branch formats with more adversary and sales centers. By 2025, these initiatives could boost the sector's value added up by 44% while reducing labor requirements by 9%. Over the current trajectory, this could boost labor productivity by up to 24%, boosting the economy as a whole by putting cash reserve to work in productive investments. And finally, onto the last factor, Japan has developed an advanced infrastructure. Japan's urban infrastructure is among the best in the world. However, Japan's approach to infrastructure development evolved in response to distinct phases, each of which emphasizes the importance of balancing economic growth and sustainability. The first phase occurred during the post-war period and was characterized by rapid economic growth and urbanization. Following a period of moderate growth in the 1970s, some of the negative consequences of urbanization, such as urban sprawl and population, became apparent. The third phase, which began in 1991 and is still ongoing, is characterized by low GDP growth, a rapidly aging population, and a national economy that is becoming increasingly dependent on the country's urban centers. Japan, however, continues to be one of the best examples of rapid development in the modern era. With only 1.6% of global population, Japan now has the world's third largest GDP. It was only reinforced by natural disasters like the Kobe earthquake in 1995 and the Tohoku earthquake and tsunami 10 years ago this month that the importance of high-quality infrastructure in disaster risk management was emphasized. These challenges demonstrate that quality infrastructure investment, or QII, should promote economic development, create jobs, attract investment, and save money in the long run. QII is defined by the following core principles: maximizing infrastructure's positive impact, improving economic efficiency, integrating environmental and social considerations, enhancing resilience to natural disasters, and strengthening governance of the infrastructure. And on that note, guys, that's it for today's video. As always, I really hope you enjoyed yourself and learned a lot along the way. And remember, if you haven't hit that subscribe button already, do so now, and why not give this video a like whilst you're at it. Thank you again for taking the time to watch this. I'll see you in the next video, and as always, have a wonderful day. Take care.